testing, slowly scaling it out, correct? Which is part of what we're going to get into next. Okay.
Yeah, that's a critical piece, right? Because just like a new employee, as soon as you hire them, you don't immediately give them access to everybody's payroll, right? Or anything else kind of associated to it. You have to understand the implications and the information that it's given. And the same thing is who you're giving access to these copilots and these other tools. A copilot or one of these assistants getting access to a copywriter in marketing gives it a kind of a controlled amount of power, versus if it's a copilot or an AI that is enabled with the same rights or capabilities as your CFO. One has much more power to do or generate decisions and access to way more deep or critical information than the other one, right? So the impact to the businesses can be very different depending on who's leveraging these assistants and what kind of access and what kind of data they're being access to.
You brought up Copilot as kind of being a mix of not heavily customized, but yet not an intern. It's more of I think you said contractor kind of a role. Mike, I'm curious, I believe you've been working with Copilot. I thought this one was interesting because Copilot is kind of maybe the first thing a lot of people are trying because it's there if it's turned on, I guess. Tell me how Copilot's working these days.
It's one of those solutions that's pretty easy for customers to turn on because almost all customers out there already have some sort of Microsoft licensing already. They're already using the productivity tools today like Word, Excel. So for those companies who, are still trying to figure out their journey and where they're going to go with it, and they're looking for quick wins in the AI space, Copilot is something that's very easy for them to turn up and start using and testing out without much of a large investment in it. When they're charging $30 per user per month on it. So I think most organizations, much like us, we started with, I think it was about 500 licenses. It was 300 or 500 licenses that we started with, and got a good group of people who were very interested in using it so that we can start out with those power users who would take the time to play with it, learn the proper ways of it being used, and can share that knowledge with others throughout the organization. And then it grew from there. And then we're starting to see other tools come to the table now where people are starting to request those. Of course, our IT group can only take on so many tools at any given time. But like most organizations, there isn't always one tool that's going to rule them all. We have many different groups within Worldwide with a lot of different focus areas. And, Copilot may work for, maybe the majority, but we definitely have groups within Worldwide where they need something that's a little more specific to what they actually do. So we do look at other AI tools out there, how that can benefit those specific groups, whether or not we can implement them internally or not. And is the investment.